at a World Cup, not even testing new parts, but suspension setup, tire pressures, there comes a point where enough is enough. And you just need to run what you run, apart from a Manar, which clearly loves to just puzzle. But I think it's a distraction for him, and it's just something he can deal with. A lot of information, process what he needs. But I think a lot of riders get sucked in, and they have too much and it's overwhelming. And then you're not focusing on your speed on the track, whether your setup's perfect or not. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is like this new age of riders. There's like a desire to puzzle. And I don't know if it's Greg has led that, but sometimes it can be way more distracting than you can get out of it by going down the route of trying to test things yourself, to not have all the resources, not have real things to try, not have someone to help you with that testing. If the worst thing you can have is wrong information, and if you run a test yourself that's not necessarily completely controlled of all variables, and you can almost get yourself more confused, and also spend your time on something that maybe you could have just gone and rode and trained and focused on yourself. Um, it, it can be tough with that, and I think for Greg, I want to say it helps him to mentally feel like he's solved the problem right before the race, gets him in a good spot, and then he can go out and have this feeling like he just got the bike dialed at the last minute and now he's ready to go. And I don't know, sometimes I look at his setup and I'm like, dude, we could tell you what setup you're going to race on the first day of practice and you can just go out there and ride. But he doesn't want to do that. He likes to go through the puzzling. He likes to find the solution and be ready for race. And I think that just works for him. And I think because he's the GOAT, he's the best, he's won the most World Cups. A lot of the kids look up to him and they want to do a similar process, and maybe without all the resources or without the the state of mind that Greg has to solve that problem and then be ready for the race. So I think it can be a dangerous fine line. If you don't have the resources that Loic does, like you see so many people putting on the data acquisition systems. You can buy a system from Motion Instruments or BYB now that's not that expensive. Set it up on your bike, and unless you know what you're looking at, that is so much information coming in. And you can't really run it yourself and set up the bike. It takes so much time. There's, 5 different sensors on the bike that you need to all be calibrated and reading correctly and then know the information that you're looking at. And so many people get them and throw them on the bike and think like, oh, it'll give me the perfect setup. And it can actually lead you down a worse road than if you just, you know, put your bike in a good working window and focus on riding it the best you can. So, yeah, there's a lot there. And I hope that through all that I've learned, I can filter that out and just give the guys that working window that they can just focus on riding. I think it can be a huge advantage.